I'm not going back and forth with a man who thinks that they should be in my position. If you want to be in my position, get in my position.
Do you believe that?
Bluff City Media presents The Anthony Sain Show on YouTube at Bluff City Media. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Anthony Sain.
Acknowledge me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Anthony Sain Show. Sitting up here warm as hell in the Bluff City Media Studios. Haven't been here in a couple of weeks. Last time we were here, it was cold as shit. Woo! Me and my boy Parish is in this joint, man. Shivering in this joint. Nose running and everything, man. Extremely cold.
It was cold.
Look at the thermostat. It was like 32 in this joint. Like, man, what in the world?
Wasn't it like legit like 55 in here or something like that?
No, it was like, no, bro, that jump, yeah, it was like, yeah, probably 50 something, yeah. But it was cold as shit.
Yeah.
Last time we did a show, man. But we are here. It's warm. It is warm outside. It's about 50 something degrees today. It's a high. The water advisory broke as we were coming in today.
So what'd you do?
I ran my ass to the bathroom and started chugging sink water. Man, bro, this kind of stuff gets me so. But I hate winter weather, man. Like I am the prefer to be cold over a hot guy because I can put on layers.
Yeah. But
if you're hot, you're just gonna be hot as shit. But yeah, man. But extreme cold, like snow and ice. Like this whole time, man, I got out and drove every day doing this stuff, no matter what the conditions were, man. Like somewhere in my neighborhood close. Like I can't just be, no, it drives me nuts for my own mental health. Like I said, I had to get out, man. But I was back. We're back in the studio today, man. Everybody health-wise is good.
It's no wonder our sinuses are still messing up, man. It's like 57 degrees now.
Right.
Rainy outside. It was like 30 2 days ago. Then it was 10 before. It's wild, man.
Yeah, and like I said, I did chug some water as soon as the boil water advisory was lifted. Been farting ever since then, so I don't know if it was the smartest move.
Yeah.
But
you might be in trouble, bro.
I might have got a little residue from the old bacteria. I probably should let that joint run on hot for a good 30 seconds before I went there and
clean out them pipes.
Yeah, let the pipes run a little bit. But we are here again, man. Something else that happened while the snow and winter weather was going on is that the Tiger basketball team lost 2 games.
Hey, man.
During the storm.
Yeah.
The first game, they said, hey, don't worry about coming out today, y'all. Take your time. Like, stay at home for this one.
Then they go lose that game.
Yeah. You go from the 6 main, like we need y'all here to, hey, don't worry about it, y'all. And I saw some people got bad, like, how do you do that? Why do you do that? I will say this, though, man. Like, I think people kind of knew the storm was going, like they knew what they were going into.
Yeah.
I think the added don't come thing might have been a little bit too much. I don't think you need to do that. But I'm not saying that's the reason why they lost. I just thought that was kind of strange to just say, hey, don't come out tonight, y'all. Like, I think people know.
Watch ESPN.
Yeah, they've got their own discretion for that. I don't know. But, you know, y'all know Mildred wasn't finna get out in no damn snow and ice. But it was a pretty good turnout for that. Tigers did lose that game. And, man, I tell you, man, I'm sitting at the house. And that was the same night that Gigi went off, right?
Yep.
All right, so tell you about my night, if I can remember. Let me see. First of all, my sleep is super thrown off, right?
Yeah.
Throughout this whole thing. So I'm watching the Tigers. So I'm extremely tired because I've been going to sleep, like taking naps in the middle of the day, like that type of stuff. So I'm extremely tired when the Tiger game is coming on. So the Tigers get up by like 20. So I said, okay, here's my grand plan, right? I'm going to go to sleep on this Tiger game. This is a W. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to set my alarm for 10 because the Grizzlies got a game that comes on at 9, right?
Right. So
I said, I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to wake up at 10, right? So I said, I'll catch the second half of this Tiger game. I woke up by alarm. I woke up before my alarm and I go to the Tiger game and we're up 3 with like 2 minutes ago. I was like, what the hell happened?
What happened?
So the Tigers lose that game. And then I went to bed, and when I went to sleep, FAU was getting beat by like 10 points in their game. I look up, both games have the exact same score. It's like 69-66 with 2 minutes left in both games. FAU's up. They end up winning by double digits. Tigers lose that game, ugly loss. And then Penny just started talking. Penny just starts talking, man.
Sheesh.
He's like, he's opening up Pandora's box and, hey, I got dudes on this team. They can't play together, and I got to avoid that type of stuff.
I can't play these lineups.
I'm like, man, it seems like his son's getting along with everybody.
His sons are cool.
She's like he can put Jaden and
Jaden Ashton can play with anybody.
They're kind of conduits. You know what I mean?
Dude, that is funny. That is talk about Pandora's box. You just opened Pandora's box.
Oh
right there.
man, Penny just here's my thing, bro. I am a interesting thing about the Memphis market, especially like with this old, not this current media relations team, like the one before them.
Yeah,
when like anybody can come to the game.
Anybody.
It was like, hey, you got a podcast? Hey, you on the camera? Oh, your phone? You on the phone? Oh, okay, yeah, come on.
Yeah,
like it was like that level of like media coverage. Like this Memphis market is the only market where the coach of a team has literal fans who cover him, fans of him who cover the team.
It's definitely calmed down over the last couple of years
because they've kind of rooted out a lot
but prior to that, you're
a lot of naysayers. A lot of naysayers have been.
Man, there was a dude that used to come to every Tiger availability and game.
I'm aware.
Mug.
Because I went to one game, bro.
God. It's mug.
I'm about to say something to have people mad, bro.
We used to try to find out like how quickly, like, were you smoking weed before you walked into the availability? Man, it was so high every time he came into availability.
I was in that drill like, hey, it's a few too many naysayers, bro. Like I was like, all right, bro, who's signing this off, bro? I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable, man. I was talking to Wendy Thomas one time, and she was putting this story together about asking the question, does sports really bring people together, right? And she was talking about, I was reading an article, and she says, like, when you talk about stuff being like mixed, like intergender, what's it called, man? Like churches when it's like black and white people there. What's it called?
Interracial.
No. That ain't the word I'm looking for.
Multicultural.
Multicultural, right?
Multicultural.
You talk about like multicultural church. She was like, that's not really, in the article, she was saying that's not really a real thing. And she said because once it gets a certain level of whatever the minority is,
right,
the used to be majority is gonna say, okay, y'all got it, big dog. We gonna like. There's a certain number. Like it's never gonna be truly multicultural. At one point, it's gonna be too black, right? So yeah, at that point, I was like, all right. And I'm the dude who will say, all right, man, let's just diversify this a boy. Where the brothers at, baby? I was like, all right, man, let's somebody put some restraints on this.
He said, where's segregation? No,
I'm at the Tiger game, like, all right, I'm feeling like Mildred. All right, it's a little bit too black in here. But no, shout out to all the independent journalists, man. I'm joking. I know y'all get mad.
Please know that's all
I get
a joke,
I get the wokey woke black people who get mad at me sometimes. They get mad when I made the joke about Orange Mound and Mikey, so I'm sure they'll be furious about. I actually did enjoy that time. There's a lot of guys that I knew that were independent journalists who were able to do their thing. And shame on you, University of Memphis, who just got nobody but Leon is back there. Ain't nobody in the building but Leon, man. No, Leon, Cody, who else? Part is a non-white person.
Avery Braxton.
Yeah. We got brothers in there.
That's our guy, man.
Oh, he used to be black as shit back there, man. He used to be there was so many brothers at one time covering Tiger basketball, man. What happened, man? Man,
here's my thing, man.
I don't want to stay on that long.
No, we don't need to stay on that too long.
Let me move on.
Just be good at what you do. Yeah,
but anyway, I don't know why you even say that. That's how I had to say this, man. Like Tiger basketball, right? Like so they lost 2 games. I've said this on Twitter. This is one of the most talented teams in the country. I don't care about they lost to South Florida without B.B. Walton. There was no B.B. Walton did not walk through that door, right? You know what I mean? Shout out to people who, if you know on B.B. Walton. B.B. Walton didn't walk through that door. Keelan Nor, who else? KJ Nor, Dietrich Lawson also didn't walk through for Tulane.
KJ didn't walk through that door.
Dietrich never played for him, but I'm just saying, even if he was there.
Right.
He didn't, Johnny Lawson didn't come through that door anyway, either for Tulane.
Right.
Probably shouldn't have lost that game on the road either. But you lost 2 games.
Yeah.
They're a very talented team. Shit is just weird in Memphis, man. It's going to be weird. in the case of in the span of 6 months, you had Mikey Williams on this team, and then he's living in Orange Mound. Penny don't even know he did that type shit. He's out there talking about he can't wait to play with Javon Quinley.
Right.
Then he gets
best backcourt in the country.
You think he's going to jail? That don't happen. He's got a misdemeanor. Then he goes to Central Florida because he thinks he can play now. Now people say he probably ain't gonna play there at all. Like, man, it's the wild shit that happens. You had Jordan Brown, who people thought was gonna be like the fulcrum of this offense. Everything's going through him.
Right.
That never happened. He's gone. Now he's back.
Went to fat camp. Lost like 15 pounds.
Tiger basketball, man, is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be some dramatically entertaining stuff. Jeff Calkins said this is the 2-year anniversary of keep my name out your whatever Penny said.
Stop asking me stupid
effing questions, bro. Stop playing with me. All that. It's part of the Penny Hardaway experience.
But see, here's what I'll say to that. It is a part of there is drama on every team.
But we had a good shit.
But we have that good stuff.
Our shit hit better.
But
our shit better than other folks' shit, bro.
My only thing is I really like people will use Penny's honesty to his favor until they decide not to.
Exactly.
And I think that Penny is notorious for being ultra honest. He said Efrick Barnes in a press conference. We want all the smoke. All this.
I forgot about
stuff.
the Efrick Barnes.
Right? Like he'll say all that kind of stuff and people go crazy. And my response to it is, man, I love that honesty. I love it that he talks honest. But at times, man, I just want to tell him just, hey, man, we don't need to know all this.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay.
Hey, lie to me.
It's okay.
This is what I gotta say, man. Like, if Penny Hardaway wasn't our coach, right?
Right.
Like, you have some people who think, all right, fire Penny. You know, everybody, we're a top 25 program of all time. We aren't. Like, we're not a top 25 program of all time because there's been several national champions in my life. We've never won any of them. So you're not a top 25.
There's been at least 44.
Right, exactly. So you're not a top 25 college basketball
We've been
program.
to one in our lifetime.
And, like, kids don't give a damn about, you know,
two in our
what
lifetime.
you did in 1984. Like, they don't care about it. Like, you're not and there's a segment of people who think, well, if you fire Penny, this is a big-time job. And no. Like, I saw Tubby Smith here. And I saw FedEx Forum, like, struggling to get people at games.
Right.
And I saw the Grizzlies being like, hey, y'all in violation of y'all lease. I saw that, bro. And
yeah,
you're kind of in a situation with Penny where it's like you've got to deal with the bad with the good because he's people get mad at me when I say this too. Penny Hardaway is bigger than the University of Memphis basketball program. Like, I don't care what people that may make you angry. Sorry, that's the reality of it. And I think that you're in for if you're still in this conference, you're still in the AAC. There's no difference. If Penny Hardaway gets up and says, okay, I'm gone, you're no different than the Tulanes, USF, UTSAs. You're on the same level of those teams. I don't get mad at me. Get in the comments, get mad. You can live in this world delusion if you want to. But Penny Hardaway he's bigger than this conference. He's bigger than this program. And you hear people say, we're the number 10 team in the country, losing to so and so and so. You're leaving a key part out. You're the number 10 team in the country. And if Penny Hardaway is gone, I don't know who you think you're getting as coach, but good luck thinking that dude is going to have you be the number 10 team in the country. You know what I mean? So I think this team is super talented. I'll tell you two quick things. I'm going to get out the way because we got Parish Sharkey here today for the sit down with Sain. I'm going to make two quick statements, Kenny. I'm going to slide up out of here. I'm going to get your quick thoughts on these. It's a team full of guys who this is about David Jones. I'll say this. Never in my 44 years of life, and I probably started watching Tiger basketball when I was 5 or 6 years old. So in my 38, 39 years of being a Tiger basketball fan, I've seen a lot of dudes where I said, okay, that's that dude.
That's that
team.
guy. Yep.
I've seen it start out to me, it was Elliot Perry. You know?
Right.
One part of my life, I remember some fragments of Andre Turner, but to me, the first star was Elliot Perry.
Then it was Penny.
You had Penny Hardaway. You had Derrick Rose, Chris Douglas Roberts.
Right.
Sunday Adebayo. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I could give you some dudes, man, like through the years. You know what I mean? Sean Banks, you know?
Yeah, man.
Dietrich Lawson, you know what I mean? Washington, what's his name? Darius Washington. I could go through, like, it's been dudes who've been that dude. There's never been a dude that I really can't get behind who's been this cold like David Jones, man. Like, dude is cold. He is a hooper. He is like one of the best players I've ever seen put on. Jeremiah Martin. I've seen all these dudes come through here, man. It's hard for me to get behind that dude, and I can't really put a finger on it.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, I don't think we've had a guy. I might be in delusion. I might be wrong about this. I don't think we've had a guy that other teams don't like as much as him. He just seems like a really hated dude. And I'm not saying I don't like him as a player. I mean, he plays for the Tigers and he's good as shit. So I'm cheering for him. I don't think I like that dude if he didn't play for us, man.
Yeah.
And I think there's a couple things going on with this team, and we'll go to the break. You got guys who all were either the dude or next to the dude at the schools they played for. And most of those guys, their teams were ass, except for Quinterly, right?
Right. Javon with 2 straight
and
Sweet 16.
These guys were made some type of promise or had some level of expectation coming here. And that probably was, this is last chance you for me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still in college basketball for a reason. I'm not a pro. But this is probably my last chance to get there, right? Or go pro. When I say pro, I mean professional player, whether it be NBA, overseas, whatever. This is my last chance to really show I'm that level of player.
Right.
And I think you got a bunch of guys on this team who are like, okay, there's only one dude who Penny really lets do that. You know what I mean? And you're telling the rest of us to go be his backup dancers or his, it's one David Ruffin and we're the Temptations. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of that that's going on this team.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Malcolm Dandridge for giving the best answer possible when it came down to Jordan Brown.
Yep.
I don't believe that shit. Like, bro, I see you, Malcolm. Like, I see you when the game's going on, man. Like, I hear you at the podium, but I see you when the actual games are going on. So I think and that's all human nature, bro. Like that, I don't knock Malcolm if he feels a way. I don't knock him for feeling that way. I don't knock Jaquan Walton. What's his name? Jaquan Walton. I don't knock him if he feels a way about David Jones. And I'm not saying this is real. I'm just saying, just throwing out stuff. I don't feel a way about any of this stuff. Like what's my boy? That's Sain. What's his name? Nick Jordan. I don't feel a way if people are like, damn man, that dude's a goof. Like. He's good, really good at times.
Yeah.
He's super goofy at times. Like, why is that dude starting and finishing games? If there are guys like, damn, like what I got to be a Hardaway, either blood or adopted son to get some love around here. I mean, I understand all those things. It's human nature, bro. But I think this team is talented enough that and has enough pride where they'll say, okay, man, we'll figure this out. We'll start playing defense the whole game. We'll defer to whoever we need to defer to. And we'll take care of what we got to take care of. And like I said, I'm not really tripping about any of this stuff. I think they'll figure these things out. I think they'll work these things out in due time, man. But
I think the conversation would have been totally different if Penny hadn't come out and said what he said.
Oh, Penny been tripping, man.
Like honestly, like that USF game, losing that game, the conversation leading up to that Tulane game.
Hey, I told him, man. Hey,
was all about the comments that Penny made. And it was dissecting and making up because nobody knows, right? Like nobody knows the issues that he's talking about. We can assert things, we can say things, we can say we think this probably is what it is. But if those broad comments, those like really broad comments that he made, my response to it is either don't say it at all or start ethering people, right? Yeah. Like names. Yeah. So that there's not the conversation around, well, who is it then? Is it everybody hates David? Is it Jaquan and Ashton don't like each other? Is it Jaquan? Who is it that they don't like? Who is it that is having the issues? And that becomes a conversation because here's the thing, man. In the grand scheme of things, Tigers have lost 2 games. They're 15-4. They've lost 2 games in conference. A lot of teams are losing games in conference because basketball,
all across the country,
college basketball. Because of the transfer portal, because of NIL, is the parity in college basketball is absolutely different than it was a few years ago.
And you don't have a lot of freshmen on the court. Everybody's putting fielding experienced teams.
Yeah,
there's freshman basketball players are becoming extinct in college basketball, which is crazy.
Which is wild. Yeah. No, it's 100%. Yeah. But I just think it's going to be fun.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Let me ask you this. I want to go ahead and get Parish in. What do you think the stuff that Penny is putting out in these press conferences, do you think he's just like babbling or like he's like diarrhea at the mouth? Or there's some type of strategy, like he's trying to use the media to motivate his team. Like he's throwing guys out there with the intention of embarrassing them or making them want to get this shit together.
I'll never understand intentionally embarrassing somebody, so I refuse to believe that that's what he's trying to do.
So you think he's just out there running at the mouth?
I think that there is a level of honesty and a level of even. I'm trying really hard to not say what I really think, because I don't want to get in trouble. I think Penny is trying really hard to prove that he's not the problem in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I think that there is, and I don't, and again, I'll say this: I'm not in the team like fire Penny like a lot of folks are.
Because you got a brain.
Because I've got a brain. Because I'm not a dummy. But I do think that there is a lot of issues that Penny brings to the table when it comes to leading a team, leading an organization. And I think one of the problems is I think he doesn't want to. He never wants to say I'm the problem.
Yeah.
Like I need to fix some stuff that I'm doing.
Right.
And that to me is a problem.
Well, I'll say this as we go to the break, man. Deal with this shit, y'all. Because I mean, Penny has this organization by the balls, man. Like,
oh yeah, it's his organization.
In the conference that we're in right now, whatever guy you think is going to be this coach, it's going to be a fall off, man. You're not going to get,
without a doubt,
you're not going to get the level of players.
Penny makes this organization relevant,
right? And don't think. First of all, when Rick Stansberry leaves here, he's gonna go get another job. Like he's gonna go get another head coaching job. I don't particularly think he would. I don't. Come on, man. No. Stop. Like he ain't Penny. And all these. I'm about to get almost something triggered me, man. All these media members out here like saying all this shady shit. Like Rick is doing all the recruiting.
Man, stop it,
man.
Stop it.
Y'all better stop playing with 1 cent, man.
That's ridiculous.
And I'm a 1 cent fan. I'm a 1 cent fan. I've been critical about Penny in the past, but man,
there's a lot to be.
Y'all better stop playing, bro.
There's a lot to be critical about Penny in regards to the way that he runs his team. The one thing you cannot do is try to replace him as somebody who's not the most important figure in that entire building. He controls everything that goes on there, and if he leaves, I agree with you. A lot of the stuff. You'll see it. A lot of if he ever decides to leave, and number one, it'll be his decision. Number two, you will see people with money removing their support.
It's gonna be a cold winter in this MF too.
But again, that's the dire straits of this thing. We're not even at that point.
I better stop
this
playing.
Team's gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine.
Stop playing.
Yeah, they're gonna be fine.
Yeah, they're gonna be all right, man. Like I said, the team's super talented. They'll figure it out, man. But my guy Parish Sharkey is about to join us. About to go to break. Sitting down with Sain with my boy. We have a good time each and every Wednesday. Parish comes on. Sure, we'll do that again this week. We'll see you guys in a minute here on the Anthony Sain Show.
It's just weird.
Don't even do it. Just don't even. It's not even weird.
Just move it on.
Draymond, shut up.
It's fair.
Be quiet. You know. This is about as real as LeBron's retirement last year. Okay, you were never going to retire. You're saying you're going to retire because of your self-inflicted wounds? Because of what you did? Stop with that's just drama for the sake of trying to create drama.
Yeah.
And try to be Draymond playing a victim card. Kind of. That's sort of
wild.
what
Weird.
he was trying to do.
That is 100% what he was
Don't
doing.
do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. You're not a victim. You never have been.
No.
In fact, you've been enabled this long to act this way. This has happened before, and Adam finally decided to come, pass a harsh punishment down.
Yeah.
And it was well deserved.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say on that.
Tune into On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Do you think if you spot an NBA team 30 points, they would still come back and win?
Against who?
A college team. A good college team.
Yes.
30 points. You think they can come back and... What if I said 40 points? What is the breaking point?
What are you saying? That the NBA team is down 30 points?
Yeah, they're basically negative 40 at the start of the game. Negative 30, negative 40.
I don't know, TJ. This what team? Who's on it? We're talking like the national championship team, like UConn last year versus...
No, let's say... let's just use Villanova because that's who we played. Versus the Pistons. You think they come back and win that?
I mean, we went on a 24-0 run.
They were letting you make that run.
What did you saying? 30 point?
Yeah.
30-0 to start the game. Villanova. I think the Pistons can probably win.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's a lot of points.
I know it's a lot.
I don't know. It was just a dumb
It's also an
conversation.
NBA team.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. We back in the studio this week again. My man, Parish Sharkey is in the building. We in this, man, hooded weather season is back, man. We've been snowed in. Man, I think the frozen tundra will be back in the warm, comfortable elements.
Raining.
The comfortable elements of the studio out here at Bluff City Media, man. Now, you remember last time we did a show, it was cold as shit in here.
God,
Nose running there. It's like, all right, bro, we better get about this joint. But yeah, but we're back feeling good in this joint, man. I don't know if the heat is working or if we just don't need the heat because it's like 50-something degrees outside. But
the window's not open. That's what it is.
yeah, it might be what it is for sure, man. But we're back in the studio with my man, Parish Sharkey, each and every Wednesday here on the Anthony Sain Show. A lot of things going on. And we opened the show talking about Tiger basketball today, so we'll definitely talk about some of that. And there's a plethora of Grizzly things to talk about. Something I want to talk to you about for sure, man, is that I'm at a very chilled, relaxed mode right now when it comes down to the Grizzlies. Like, nothing really bothers me one way or another. You know what I mean? But I see some people, whether it's in post-game shows, whether it's in with the spaces or just on the timeline, on Twitter, whatever, who are really, like, over-hyped about stuff that's going on right now. Now, there was a point in the season where, in that first 25 games of the season, where I was like, all right, I hope this time it's kind of showing y'all that Taylor Jenkins isn't the guy that y'all think he is. And not saying let's fire Taylor Jenkins, but just, you know, you're kind of seeing that, okay, he's not really that great of a coach. Because like I gave all the reasons. Great coaches figure out ways to win certain types of games. We weren't seeing that type of stuff. And we saw him, like, screwing around with Vince Williams when he would have a great game, you're not playing the next game. There was a starting lineup that had Santi Aldama at the 3 and Jacob Gillard as your starting point guard when you had other options available. Like, that was a real thing, you know what I mean? So all these type of things we talked about throughout that time. But I'm at the point now, man, where I'm like, and I think I'm in the majority, but I'm not really sure if I am or not. But I talked to Keith Parrish about this last week too. And Keith was like, you know, man, I want to win some games. I don't want to just go out there and develop guys and just throw out, bullshit lineups. And I'm like, we got the win the other night, you know what I mean, against Toronto. And I was happy about that. Like, but I'm in a very chill mode. Like, I'm like, okay, whatever happens, happens. I'm not getting upset one way or another about any of this. How are you digesting the games these days, especially when you still got half the season left to go, literally half the season left to go. So how are you digesting games?
Of course, I'm chill. I'm chill most of the time anyway, but I'm definitely chill now, especially, like, think about the Minnesota game. I'm just happy they competing. Like, that Minnesota game, I was like, man, I just hope they don't get blown out on national TV. And they went in, came out, in the first 3 quarters, great. Then, of course, I got a little frustrated with Jenkins for mainly the Jaren Jackson foul thing, where you survived the 3rd quarter, but in the 4th quarter, once he got a field foul, you took him right back out. At that point, you can't survive no more minutes without him. He got to learn how to play through foul trouble. So things like that was like, why he didn't just let him play? But overall, not mad we lost the game. That's the fact you competed and you got to that point you had to lead and you lost it to a team that's no one seed in the West. Right. I was satisfied, right? And since then, it's just like, ain't much to get mad about. You're missing 4 of your 5 starters and your 6th man, Brandon Clark. See, you're missing 5 of your top 6 players. I'm not getting mad at anything you do the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's like I don't really care, man. It's like because people, it's like the whole thing with Zaire is like, okay,
he got to play somebody,
right? It's like he's got to play somebody. Then it's like, okay, if it was February the 9th, I would feel a way about the amount of minutes Zaire was getting. But like right now, when the trade deadline is in a few weeks, and they're probably trying to showcase guys, I'm like, I don't care about any of that, man. There are certain things that you cannot put back in the bottle. There's certain the toothpaste is out of the tube on 2 guys. We know that Vince Williams is good, and we know Gigi Jackson is good. How they really use them the rest of this season, or whether they have good games and bad games the rest of the season, I don't really care about that because I believe they've identified those two guys as two hits. And I think they're going to make moves going forward to keep those guys on the roster, get GG on the roster. I don't think we're going to screw around with trying to give him a two-way again because he's going to be an RFA. He's going to be a restricted free agent this summer. He's not going to he's not taking another two-way deal. The Grizzlies are going to have to get that man a deal.
Go ahead, do it.
So I think the fact that you've seen those two guys, you've identified those two guys as two guys that can play, I don't really care what happens this season. But with that being said, we talked about the trade deadline, which is coming up on February the 8th. We got a handful of shows in between now and then. I like to play connect the dots and kind of taking loose pieces of the puzzle and connecting them together to make the whole broader picture make sense. Mm-hmm. And there's been a lot of puzzle pieces that seem to be pointed at Luke Kennard. And I'm not talking about just fan stuff or just media stuff. Shout out to Michael O'Reilly, who's done some great articles for Bluff City Media. You guys can check that out on the website. Some of the great stuff the guys like Parish, guys like Micah have done. As far as trade stuff is concerned, Sean Coleman, I think he's done some stuff too. Luke. I know he does in the Discord. Luke Hadamaker's done some stuff. A lot of guys at Bluff City Media, go check it out. But there's a lot of you start hearing reports, right? And it's like, you start hearing that Quentin Grimes has interest from Memphis, right? And then you hear like the Knicks are looking for shooting, right? you hear guys like Chris Harrington who are constantly putting Luke Kennard in trade scenarios. You hear him talking about, the tax aprons and all this. You hear all this stuff about, and that's a real thing, man.
Yeah, because Desmond Bane stenching coming up.
Yeah, because between Jaren, John, Desmond, Bane, you're about to have a lot of salary tied up in the three dudes, right? So there's certain luxuries you may not be able to have, which is the best shooter in the NBA being the fifth guard in your rotation. Like that might be a luxury that you may not be able to have, right? So I'm looking at a situation where you're worried about that luxury tax, not just the lower. It's like the second apron or the second level. Yeah. You're worried about getting there. You're worried about freeing up a roster spot, not only for GG Jackson, but your own draft pick.
Yep.
You got to make a spot for both of those guys, right?
Yep. Because your top lottery pick is not going to no G League.
Yeah.
No two-way contract.
Right. You might have Tillman. You might bring Tillman back. But, you got all these situations going on. So there's a trade, man, that looks to be screaming at us in the face that feels like it's inevitable to happen. And that's the New York Knicks. And then the Knicks came out yesterday and said, we want to trade him to a team in the West. I'm like, all right, come on, man. Y'all stop flirting with each other. You know how you kind of like, your friend, you see, because I've seen, it was this girl I was interested in one time, and she was on my partner's Facebook page. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, bro, who is it? Like, he had, pictures with her. I was like, who is it? So he set it up, and I was like, all right, you got the Knicks and the Grizzlies. It looks like they're flirting with each other on Twitter, man. Mm-hmm. Through the media or whatever. So this is what I think is going to happen. Shout out to my boy, Parker Van Blaricon, who's one of the pastors at Life Church in Memphis. He's also a big-time Grizzlies fan. But he put out a trade proposal, and I was like, that kind of makes sense. And I was like, oh, snap. I wonder, could I add Roddy or LaRavia or Zaire to that trade, and it still works financially, and it did. And here's the trade idea he was thinking of. He said Grimes and Evan Fournier, right, for Luke Kennard, John Conchar, who I also think the Knicks had interest in, if I'm not mistaken, and then one of Zaire, Jake, or Roddy, right? Mm-hmm. Either one of them, the numbers work. So it'll be a 3-for-2 trade, which would be a consolidation trade, would free up a roster spot for us. Evan Fournier's contract is just like Luke Kennard's, right? You can decline the option on him. That money goes away this summer. Yep. He becomes a free agent. You let him walk, right?
Grimes is a restricted free agent this
right.
summer too, right?
You get Grimes, who lowers the floor of being – because if Grimes is the worst dude on your bench,
you're good.
You're good. I mean, he's a good player. He can play. You know what I mean?
What's his contract like?
I think he's a free agent.
He's a free agent this offseason.
Either this summer or next. Is this summer, right?
I think it's this year. I think he's restricted.
Right.
Check though.
But if you can get him on a pretty friendly deal, you get rid of Kennard. Even if you want to bring Fournier back, you can do that too. But like I said, man, if you can consolidate, if you can get rid of Conchar, whose contract is going to get weird in a minute, you can get rid of him. You could get rid of one of the guys like
he's
Jake.
A free agent next year.
Free agent next year.
Yep.
Like, so this summer, he's good.
Yeah, he good.
I feel like that's about to happen, bro. Like, I feel like that exact deal is about to happen. Like, as I just described, I feel like this happened.
Does that not feel like a lot, though? You're giving up.
Nah, because you got to think contract. Well, a lot.
With Kennard, that's what I'm saying. Like, talent for talent, does that not feel like a lot?
Let me break news to everybody who's listening to the show. Because I hear people saying, Clemens just got to just bite the bullet, man, and just let Zaire go and just realize, man, y'all think that dude don't see that dude sorry as hell? Like, but nobody, if there's not going to be many opportunities to consolidate those dudes, to get those guys involved in the trade.
Yeah.
If you can move off of, they're going to be a luxury tax team next year probably regardless.
Right.
But if you can clear out their roster spot, get rid of one of those guys, and free up tax money, that just screams Memphis Grizzly trade, bro. It's just how they move. Like, if I can just knock out more than one rock with one stone, whatever I'm trying to say, kill two birds with one stone.
Yep.
They're going to do that, man. Plus, I know Grimes is a guy they had interest in anyway, who could defend. He's not the best shooter in the NBA. But he's like shooting 40-something% from three. He's young. He's versatile. And then, like you're talking about now, if you do a reset, because that's something I thought about too, man. Like, everybody's like posting the pictures of the 2021-22 team and with, I just missed the vibes here and I missed this team.
Man, somebody posted to get paid.
All right, no, but check this out. Let's revisit it. Yeah. Let's say you get Grimes, right? All right. So is G.G. Jackson worse than Kyle Anderson? All right. Is Vince Williams
not coming up in the future?
Not yet.
Definitely.
I mean, he's not as good as Kyle now.
Are we
he's
sure
not
about
as good yet, but
what are we calling good?
We talking about next year. He's gonna be,
right, you know what I mean?
What are we talking about? Like
his upside is crazy,
Yeah.
but I mean, if you're going roster for roster, player for player, Kyle Anderson's better than Gigi.
I don't know
right now.
Depending on what you talking about, depending on what you call good.
Depending on how you fit, yeah.
Is Gigi a guy you could throw on the best player on another team and say, hey, go shut that dude down like you can with Kyle Anderson? No. But what I'm saying is, all right, you got, Gigi and Kyle.
But
you got.
We think about next year, Gigi.
Yeah.
You want Gigi over Kyle. Duh.
Yeah. Vince Williams or DeAnthony Melton.
Vince, I was never, I ain't gonna say I dislike Milton, but the whole playoff performance versus his regular season was always turned me off. So
and then at that point, right, at that point you're putting Grimes in your fifth guard role, which is him versus Kennard or him versus Conchar in the past.
Man.
That team we would be very good next year, man. And I would hate to lose Kennard. He's one of the best shooters in the NBA.
Yes.
But next year, like we talked about with Keith Parish last week, if your guards are John Morant, Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane, Vince Williams, I don't want any of those guys sitting down so Luke can play. And I think I understand he's one of the best shooters in the league. But I don't want any combination of two of those guys sitting down while Luke's out there. Like, that's just not where I'm at. You know what I mean? So at this point, you've said for a couple of months now, you think that Marcus could be moved at the trade deadline. Are you kind of stepping off that a little bit now? I wouldn't be surprised if that happens too. I'll say this. Just kind of reading tea leaves and just paying attention to stuff, just how stuff's been moving in the league. I think if Marcus Smart was healthy today, I don't think that Terry Rozier trade would have happened today.
Interesting.
If Marcus Smart was healthy.
I believe that was a better trade for him.
Who, Rozier? Yeah.
Because they need offense more than defense.
So, yeah, because like I said, man, when I said that here and I said that on Twitter, like at one time, every Grizzly game I was going to, somebody from Miami was there. So I was just kind of putting two and two together on who I thought they might have been there for. And I still think there are teams who would have wanted Marcus Smart. I think the fact that he's hurt, he'll be here next year because he'll be hurt throughout the deadline. Now, it might be a team who's going to say, hey, his finger will be fine. I'll trade for him. But I just think there's, between now and next year's trade deadline, I just think there's a lot of things the Grizzlies could do between now and then. Like,
especially if some people come available.
Yeah.
Like people out of Brooklyn.
Exactly.
They need to start
doing
some
stuff. I'm going to tell you my thing, bro. Like I told y'all about as far as that draft pick. It depends on when you ask me, bro. Ask me right now today, I'm saying go to the podium and go draft you somebody.
And draft the guy. You want to know the guy I'm thinking about?
Who?
The guy from Tennessee.
What do you play?
Kennard, the shooter.
I don't care.
Dalton Kennard.
That man cold.
I don't care. Go draft it. Like, for real. That's where I'm at, man. Like, for real. Like,
it's a Franz Wagner kind of.
That man cold.
Yeah, I'm like, man, go draft your dude, man. For real. And the reason why I'm like, okay, you know this team is going to be deep next year. You're going to have a lot of guys that can play on this roster, right? And at that point, I don't care if Zaire's still on this team. I don't care if Roddy's still on. I don't care, bro. Like, if you got – there's going to be 9 to 10 dudes that can really play on this team, right? You're going to get Steven Adams, some version of Steven Adams back. If he's moderately healthy and you go draft one of the bigs that are going to be there in the top 10, you can have that kid play behind Steven.
And groom him.
When you feel like that kid's ready to go day one, now you can move Steven Adams again.
Yeah, he'll be an expiring contract next year.
Yeah,
or year
it's
after.
like
One or two.
that's why I'm not really tripping about nothing that I'm seeing, bro. Like when I see Zaire be ass, it makes me giggle now. Like it don't piss me off no more. Like I do is really trash.
That's what it is. I just hate that his minutes. I do hate his minutes are lumped with Gigi, so it make Gigi look bad.
Look sorry too. Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Right, and I believe that from either people I've talked to or just having eyes like everybody else does, I don't think the Grizzlies think Zaire is good. I think they're like, all right, whatever. We got it. I think if somebody called with the deal to get Zaire out of here, he'll be out of here. I mean, so I don't really stress about none of that at all, man. For sure.
Let me ask you this. This is a question I have for you. We've seen really good Gigi. We've seen, Gigi kind of come back down to earth a little bit. We see the potential, right? Like we see what he could become. What can he become for this Grizzlies team, you think?
He could be that Rudy Gay. I don't like the Paul George comments because Paul George is an elite level ball handler. I don't think that Gigi ever will have that type of bag of like wiggle as far as dribble moves are concerned.
I was thinking Rudy Gay too, but more unselfish.
Yeah.
He gonna have no choice because he's automatically gonna be the fourth option on Lord starting out.
I think Gigi can be a phenomenal player here. Kind of like a super Jeremy Grant type player. Because Jeremy Grant became a real deal shooter. He can really knock down shots at this point. I can see him being that level player, probably a little bit more athletic. I can see a scenario where Gigi never starts for us, or I can see a scenario where he's like second or third best player on the team. Like I can see that, bro. Like he's got the type of tools where he can be that dude. I think he can be kind of what Michael Porter Jr. is for Denver. You know what I mean?
Basically, I like that comp.
Basically, Gigi is he is what we drafted Zaire to be.
Yeah.
Basically.
And
you missed on your first round picks, but you're here on your second round picks.
Yeah.
Cool.
And like I said, and that's something else. A guy said this on Twitter. And I knew people were kind of thinking this way, but I saw somebody say this. He was like, "Man, Chris Wallace was a bit like, all right,
I saw.
Yeah, I see how this season really messed with y'all's mind."
That might say he.
Yeah, like, bro, how can you say that?
That might say the core four, like.
All right, let's go back. Let's go back. Yeah, like he literally stumbled into the court forward. Like you drafted Mike Conley, who was not looking good for the first 3 or 4 years.
7 years.
Yeah, it took him a while to get good. You know what I mean? You got Zach Randolph, who like had so many warts and so many red flags. Nobody was touching him.
Nobody knew about Mark.
Nobody. You traded Pau Gasol, and you got Marc Gasol as a throw-in, in that you did not have. Because here's what people say. Well, he knew that Mark was like, this big international player and all that.
Why you drafted Sheen to beat?
Why you turn around the next summer and draft Sheen to beat?
You drafted Sheen to beat after that trade.
You drafted Sheen to beat.
Like, no, you didn't.
So don't tell me you thought Marc Gasol was your center for the future, because you didn't.
You had James Harden right there.
Right, you didn't. You didn't think that Marc Gasol was going to be your center of the future because you went out and drafted Sheen to beat, right? So stop it, man. And then Tony Allen, you had Ronnie Brewer. He got hurt. Yeah. You bring Tony Allen in,
who's coming off an injury,
and then Tony, it was coming off injury, and was coming off the bench. He was playing behind Xavier Henry, OJ Mayo, and the ugly dude Sam Young.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Like, I forgot about Sam Young.
You stumbled into Tony Allen, bro. So stop, man. Like if them dudes didn't get hurt, Tony Allen wouldn't even been Tony Allen here, bro.
If he didn't punch OJ Mayo.
You didn't have a plan for that. Like climbing, like. And I know that Chris Wallace was the GM when they drafted Jaren, but Zach Kleiman drafted Jaren Jackson Jr. Trust me on this. Like,
yes.
Chris. I told y'all before who the guy would have been. Who I was told Chris Wallace would have drafted if he was the GM.
And Javon Carter, who you traded him, he turned out to be something too.
And Chris Wallace did draft him.
He did.
They said, "Hey, go knock yourself out." They was like, "Go knock yourself out on that one, man. We know the kind of guy you want. Go get him. Go get your guy, man. Go get your treadmill mentality, right?" So, Yeah, this front office went out. They got Jaren Jackson Jr., John Moran. I'm not going to give him credit for that. Desmond Bane, you have to give him credit for that. Brandon Clark. Come on, man.
Xavier Tillman, second round picks, they've been.
You found Santi, who's rotation player
in the first round. Yep.
All these type of guys. And here's the thing too, man. Like I'm not trying to be Parker Fleming over here, but I will put on my front office cape today, man. But like, you can't knock these guys. You can't say, man, Vince is a hit. GG, man, this guy's gonna be a star. The same dudes drafted him too, man. Like you can't not give them credit.
I don't care where they were drafted at.
Yeah, they drafted him. Like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah,
like,
you took a swing on Zaire. Cool. Like,
yep, and
sometimes
you swung wrong. That number 10 pick should have been Trey Murphy. Yeah. And you'll forever be haunted as a franchise that you didn't draft Trey Murphy. But you move past it, man, or whatever.
You drafted, trade for Jacob Rayfield when you could have had Jaden Hardy or what's the guy, the center for Utah.
My God. No, we're not even going.
Yeah,
let's not do that.
But I'm saying,
like, fire climbing on.
That's a fireable offense.
Yeah, that one suck. Yeah, that one suck for real. Yeah, but yeah, man, it is what it is, man. I think this year we'll just get through it. I'll say this too. I'm glad you brought that up, and then we'll move away from Grizzlies stuff. We'll hop into some Tiger basketball stuff, which is what we open the show with. A lot of people wanted Trey Jemison, including myself. He signed the deal with Washington. Let me make that deal make sense to people. There was a report that came out from Woj, I think, who said the Grizzlies are looking to sign a big man with a two-way deal, right? Two-way contracts, we all know what they are. You play some of the season with the G League team, you play some of the season with the big team, you get 50 games a season, right?
Yep.
Those contracts agents are thirstier for those deals in the beginning of the season because their client is a mystery. Teams don't know what that dude is. So I'm kind of taking a risk to give you a two-way deal because I don't know how your player adjusts to the NBA, right? But once I've got like G League tape on you, my client has more value now than he did as an undrafted free agent. You understand what I'm saying? So Trey Jemison has been a proven I can play pro basketball commodity, right? Yep. I'm not saying this is what happened, but like seeing how this played out, I think this is what happened, right? The Grizzlies have a injury exception that should be coming in probably sometime.
Why they ain't got it yet?
Yeah,
they're supposed to have like 3.
Right, but they're gonna have some type of injury exception, right? I think. At least, they're supposed to have been there by now.
They're supposed to get like 3 of them. Like,
yeah,
they supposed to already had 1 or 2 of them already.
Right. So, if the Grizzlies had an injury exception, I think Trey Jemison would have got signed.
Yeah,
but I don't think he would have signed a two-way. He probably signed a 10-day. Because if I'm an agent, right, and I've got, like, hey, this is my man, Parish Sharkey. He's a beat writer for Bluff City Media, right? If I go to the commercial appeal, they say, well, we'll give him an internship. Nah, you're not. Now, if you want to give him an internship, cool, but I know y'all have an empty space, so give him a man 10 days, give him 20 days of an NBA deal, then put him on the clock for a two-way. And then because I'll make more money out the 10-day deal.
Right.
And then you could say, okay, all right, or you could come to the Grizzlies and say, give him two 10s, then sign him to a regular deal until Marcus Smart comes back, then waive him, then we'll talk two-way.
Right.
And now I'm really making money off of y'all. I'm not just going to give you my player for a two-way. So I think something like that possibly happened with the Grizzlies.
Yep.
And I would not rule out a scenario where Trey Jemison goes and plays 10-day with Washington. They waive him. And then he comes to the Grizzlies on a 10-day regular deal till Marcus Smart comes back, and then waive him, and now he's on a two-way for the rest of the season. Like, I could see something like that totally happening.
Yeah.
Because I think one thing I will say about Kleiman, he's creative when it comes down to getting free looks at guys. You know what I mean? So I think that's something that could definitely happen. But that's the thing. Memphis didn't have anything but a two-way to offer him right now. And they took money. A 10-day contract is more money than a two-way. So that's where I'm at on it. I think they wanted to sign him. I think he wanted to be here. But hey, you know,
you doing business.
You do what makes more sense. We're going to transition over to Tiger basketball talk. We opened the show talking about this earlier. The Tigers fall to number 19. 2 tough losses last week. I'm not really tripping about it. I talked to Kennard about this earlier. I see a super talented team that has some shit they need to work out, man. I think the Penny's team is as talented or more talented than literally anybody in the country. You've got 4 super good big men on your team, bro.
Yeah, yep.
You know what I mean? And you've got a really good point guard. You got a dynamic scorer. You know what I mean? You got length everywhere. I think this team is good enough to make a deep run in the tournament. They have clear chemistry issues. Like something ain't right. Yep. And I told Kenny that one of the main things I see wrong with this team is that you got a lot of guys who had NBA aspirations, and I think only one of them is really allowed to go try to live out his dream at this point. And I think that's a problem, man. I think it's as simple as that. I think we're really over making this thing more difficult and more bigger and deeper than it has to be. And I think it's pretty obvious, man. You got dudes like, all right, man, like I feel like this is, David Ruffin and the Temptations. You know what I mean? When it comes down to David Jones. And they're like, hey, man, I was as good as that dude was last year. You know what I mean? Apparently you ain't. You know what I mean? But so where are you at? What's your panic level? You got Jeff Goodman saying the Tigers ain't making the tournament. You know, I'm like, come on, bro.
That's Jeff Goodman for you.
And I'm like, they'll either be fine or they won't. But they'll get in the tournament, and I think they'll win. I still think, even if this team is a mess, I can see them going to the Sweet 16. Like, that's just kind of how that kind of stuff plays out. Penny has teams who, it's that time of the year, man. It's a new calendar year. Shit get ugly as always.
You're going to go through a rough patch.
Yeah, then in February they crank it up, and then they're ready for the tournament. Like, that's happened literally every year he's been here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So what's your panic level? What do you think about what you see from this Tiger basketball team?
My panic level ain't too high yet. I'm just alert. So since it's basically as simple as this to me, and FAU has the same problem.
Yep.
You're playing in a conference that's less than stellar, and you're playing down to your competition.
Right.
And since that Virginia game, they got up for Virginia, they got up for Clemson, they got up for Texas A&M. Austin, since that game,
closer.
Vanderbilt almost lost it. Vanderbilt's 4-7. That would have been a worse loss, right? So I'm looking at the losses they have. South Florida at home was a bad loss, especially blowing a 20-point lead. But you almost lost to Vanderbilt and UTSA. If I had to lose one of the 3 games, South Florida has a winning record. Those 2 teams have a losing record. I prefer to lose to South Florida. Apparently, they're going to lose one of those 3 games because they almost lost the first 2,
right,
and they won it. The Tulane game. Playing at Tulane is not necessarily a bad loss. It's just the fact that you lost to South Florida before that. You almost lost at Tulsa. Do I prefer to lose at Tulane or lose at Tulsa? Right. Tulane is a better loss than that game. Apparently, they were eventually going to lose the game. They kept winning these games.
Right.
Eventually, you're not going to keep winning like that. And to take it, I compare it to football, the Philadelphia Eagles. They were winning all those games crazy. Then they started losing down the stretch.
Yeah.
So hopefully Memphis, they got the loss out early enough where they could turn it around. So I feel like that's a wake-up call. They got their wake-up call. Tulane was a tough game. They may have lost their game anyway, whether they beat South Florida or not. That game was tough. It was always going to be tough. They went down to the wire. You know, they beat Tulsa on the last second shot. They beat UTSA overtime. They had another last second shot that I forgot Javon Quinley hit. Like, you're finally losing some of those games you won. Yeah. It's time for you to stop playing with your food and actually
I think they're gonna turn it up, man. I think they'll get all the bullshit out the way and like, all right, man, we're here. Let's go ahead and be good again. You know what I mean? Let's stop screwing around. There's some weird stuff going on chemistry-wise. And that's something I peeped at that, all right, they don't look right. I peeped at that a long time ago, you know what I mean? But now it's like, I mean, it is what it is, man. When you go get all these dudes who either were that guy or next to the guy on the team they came from, and they came from losing-ass teams for the most part, it's going to be weird chemistry, bro. Right. Because you're acting like, hey, Jaquan Walton, go be a wing defender. Man, screw you. Like, what do you mean? Like, I've been a scorer all my life, man. Like, hey, go play defense better. And like, hey, man, no. So, like, these guys are adjusting to it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of, what you're going to see a lot of. But something else I said to Kenny, and before we go to the break, I said this to him. I want to see what you think. I've never had a player at the University of Memphis where I've identified, okay, that's the best player on our team. Well, I've said, you know what? If that dude didn't play for me, I wouldn't like that dude at all. Like, David Jones is easily the most hateable, best Tiger ever, man. And I can't really put a finger on why. Like, I'm like, dude, if you didn't play for us, man, I'd be like, man.
Because he a bucket getter then. I think about that Tulane game. It was one play where they gave up the open 3-point. I was like, what you doing on defense? But then he followed it up by getting that blocked in his possession. So it's like,
man,
bro, just play defense. It's what you doing.
Yeah, bro. Like he reminds, like I can think of like old. But he got
I think it's just the way he got a punchable face.
Yeah, man. Something like his head shaped or something. Little ass shoulders he got. Something about him just make you want to just beat his ass. like when they had to when Tulane beat them and the crowd rushed, the dude was like, get your bitch ass. Like, man, dude pushed him. Let me go ahead and push David Jones' punchable ass right quick.
I'm so glad Did react.
I'm glad he plays for us because he's a hell of a good player. But it's like I've never been this unexcited about a dude I should be getting excited about. Like I just can't get behind David Jones. I think he's a hell of a player, man. And that's something I talked to Kenny about in the first segment as well, man. I tell you what, about to take a break, man. When we come back, it's gonna be the 3-pointer. You know, Parish always sit in with me while we chop it up, man. We'll do that again. The 3-pointer's next here on Anthony Sain Show. See y'all in a minute.
I mean, there does at times. I'm not gonna say it's 100% of these games, but the last 2 games, like it just has felt like a team that is a little bit off and a little bit out of sync. Like they just don't look like the same team that just a week ago, beat Wichita State by 26 points, and we were saying, okay, here could be the breakthrough point. Even weirder than that to me is that when it is a big game, they look in sync. And they look like they're playing together, and they look like they're playing well.
I just think everybody, coaching staff, support staff, players, like they have to pull in the right direction and get it right in those normal moments, in those moments against UAB on a freaking, Wednesday night. Like they just have to pull in the right direction.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Look, I get both sides. You win every game by 1, you're a national champion.
100%.
In order to make that path to a national championship a little bit more in your favor, it helps metrically to beat the dog piss out of the teams you're supposed to beat the dog piss out of.
What is it? Does it?
Because all we're doing is falling down the net.
This dude's big ass truck certified. Kenny told Trey if he used the word net, he was going to throw something at him. And he did.
He threw the softest microphone cover in the world at me. I didn't know what it looked like. A brick. I thought I was about to be Home Alone 2, New York City.
Suck brick, kid.
I'm kidding. I will say the last 2 games have been disappointing, to say the least.
You think Penny gives 1-0?
That's my problem.
About
you have to.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
You do.
That is for the nerds out there.
It's
And
not.
that
they use that shit for seeding.
It is January 2nd. It is too damn early to be worrying about those metrics to me.
Yes.
It's not.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Sit down with Sain, me and my guy Parish Sharkey in the building. We're gonna talk about 3 things going on in the world of sports. Number 1, your trash ass Titans. Are they?
I can't dispute it. So
they're set to hire some dude. Who is this guy?
Yep, the offense coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals, Brian Callahan. So
the current assistant coordinator. I mean,
offense coordinator. Well, now current Titans head coach now, but yeah.
Yeah. So what you think about him?
I like it, man. I'm tired of this 1960s offense we've been running for my whole life. You see the Bengals offense last couple of years. Hey, I want to see that.
Let's see it. So yeah, I'm with it for sure. I'm gonna tell you what, man. I watched a playoff game.
That was good games this weekend too.
Which one did you watch?
I watched the 49ers and the Packers with my son.
Yeah, man.
Like I said, I grew up a 49er fan. Don't really give a damn at this point, but let them go to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be just let y'all know. Y'all go swear me down. I've been a Titans, but a 49er fan. But Gabe is a fan. Gabe's fandom kind of switches. Gabe is like a lot of teams in like the last couple of years. But right now he's a 49er fan. And he seems pretty invested in it. So we had a great father-son moment watching the game. And yeah. So,
I did the same thing. I did the same thing with my daughter this weekend.
For real?
Man.
What team were y'all? Does she pull?
I'm gonna give you one guess as to what team she likes.
She likes the Chiefs because of
Taylor Swift.
Taylor.
Yeah, exactly.
But she watched an entire football game with me the other day.
You enjoyed it too, then.
And she, man, we had so much fun.
Hey, what's called stole the show? Jason Kelsey.
Because Gabe was like,
yes.
yeah, we're gonna talk about that. I don't want to talk about it today. We'll talk about that another day. Because that's a whole nother thing.
But I did want to bring up the dude you said look ugly in the mud. He threw that game in the pick.
Who? Your boy
Jordan Love.
Yeah. The red dude, Jordan Love, yeah. Then on the other side, the Ravens won.
Dang, that was the only blowout.
Yeah. Hey,
That's
bro.
gonna be a game, man.
Hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie.
Lamar Jackson, bro.
Damn all that, bro. Would it come down to it? Like I said, I grew up a 49er fan. Damn all that. I'm riding with Lamar Jackson.
You gotta roll Lamar, man.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
riding with Lamar, bro. Hey,
For the culture, bro.
Oh, yeah, for the culture, man. My man Lamar Jackson.
But let's not
ain't gonna
forget.
lie.
Hey, okay.
No,
I
don't
got a
start
question.
there, man.
I got a
don't start no
question.
Patrick Mahomes stuff, man. Get your
I got a question
Larry
for
off the
you.
Three Stooges looking ass about here, man. All right, but go ahead, though.
Y'all say for the culture with Lamar.
Yeah.
Patrick's black
The real
too.
culture.
Hey, man,
the
get out
real
here,
culture.
Patrick's black
Sit
too.
this one out, man. You just sit this one out.
I'm
man.
just asking a question.
What
I
do you
can't
mean?
ask a question. Patrick's black too.
He's black. He cool.
How's he not for the culture?
Because he not.
I like brothers who choose black, not when black choose them, man.
Bingo.
I had a conversation.
Don't ask questions you already know the answer to.
This lady was super offended because I said the same thing. I was more joking, but I said this. But this lady like DMs me on Instagram. And she was super offended about me saying about the Patrick Mahomes stuff. Yes, I understand he's biracial, but you know, Lamar Jackson's a real naysayer. I mean, you know what I mean?
I didn't know black. I didn't even know Pat Mahomes was black until like his second year.
I knew he was black. You look at him and tell he's biracial, but you know, it's nothing about. And when I say stuff like that, it's not about black biracial people aren't black.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that at
it's
all.
more how you present yourself.
It's what side you lean towards.
Exactly, that's where.
And most people lean towards a certain side or a certain culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I had this conversation with Jason Smith, right, who's biracial as well.
Yep.
And he was talking about how sometimes you get a choice and sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes either because of the way you look or because of the way your family accepts you, you lean, which family side accepts you, you lean one way towards the other.
Yep.
And some guys, they kind of accept their white culture, their white side more. And I think that if Patrick Mahomes could be like, I wish I could just get rid of this black side, I think he would take that option, man. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's a whole other discussion, but I'm riding with Lamar, bro. Hey,
Lamar's the man.
take it how you want to take it. That's all I got. That's all I got for sure. That dude's a beast. He's a monster. For sure. I like dudes who, you know, if they're walking down the street and they win an NFL player, you're like, oh shit, look at that dude.
What's up?
Like, right? If you didn't know it was Lamar Jackson,
He'll
you'd be
probably
like,
kick it with you.
right, right. Like that's what I'm pulling for.
He don't
man.
act like like you said. You see him down the street, he'll probably kick it. He just
Yeah,
he seems like
and
that type of dude.
and then he
bro.
was shitted on so much by national media. Everybody counted him out.
Negotiate his own contract.
Yeah, exactly. With his mama.
His mama,
right?
like,
Come on, man.
Like, come on, man. Like, he
I'm
killing
pulling
it,
for that
bro.
dude.
Like,
I
everybody
got
just
that
keep
pull
going
for
in
that
him, bro.
dude,
Like,
man.
nah,
For
we
sure.
going for him.
Yeah. So I am pulling for Lamar Jackson going forward against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. So give me 49ers, Chiefs, and I'm down. 49ers, Ravens, and I'm down for it. I like Detroit too, though, man. That's a good story.
That's a great story.
That's a good story
Yeah.
for either
I'm
way.
happy for him.
Anybody but Kansas City again, man. I'm down for it. Just know that. Also, NBA news. Wild NBA news in the past 48 hours. We'll just kind of run through these real fast. Adrian Griffin let go as head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's
I
crazy,
told y'all a
boy.
long time ago that Giannis Antetokounmpo is way crazier than y'all think he is. Like, he's not this super humble. I told y'all think he's a teddy bear. I'm telling you, he's Lotso Bear. He's Lotso Bear from Toy Story 3.
Even young in his career, like I remember when he had like tackled Mike Dunleavy from the
Yeah.
playoff game. Like
Y'all
he
saw the stuff.
headbutted-
Y'all saw the
he
stuff with him
headbutted
in the,
somebody in the bubble.
right, and y'all saw the stuff with him in the game bar, right? That man,
Yeah, like he do like he's
Giannis
never
is a
been
maniac.
squeaky clean.
Y'all just came in with that broken ass in. He's gonna get his ass off my team. Griffin, get your big eared ass. Get your ugly ass out of here. Fire him now.
About y'all headbutting somebody on the court, man.
Go get me Doc Rivers.
Oh my God.
Bruh.
What do you think about that move, man?
Shout out
What
to
you mean?
Rail. Shout out to Rail for that tweet with Doc Rivers walking from walking from the table to score.
Dude, it's the best. The best. Him walking from the sideline to
He walking slow in the mud.
In the mid game. Hey, bro, Giannis, man, bro. I've heard some wild like stories about Giannis, like as far as like also get this dude off my team, type stuff, bro. Like for real. I've heard some wild stories that come down to him, man. So Adrian Griffin was fired. I think this shit is crazy. Like they better get fired in the middle of the season, man.
32 and 13.
They won 5 of their last 6.
Bro, let's go back. Bro, let's go back history, bro. We saw Eric Spoelstra survive the Heatles thing when they were looking good, right? We've seen a lot of dudes survive LeBron.
The only one I can think is David Black. David Black
But
got fired.
he got in the middle of the season, though?
It was.
Yeah, no, it was
For
middle of the
Ty Lue.
season. They won the
When
title.
they won the title.
They won the title.
They
that
came
year.
back.
Showed it.
That was
Hey,
that year.
I got a David Black story to tell y'all, too, about him. Like,
Oh, man.
I don't want to say because I don't want. I know. No, I'm gonna leave that alone. But like, I'm talking about like a creep. Like, if this story came out about David Blatt, he would be like fired. Like, he would be up out of here. Like, he would be getting like.
I mean, he ain't.
Not
nowhere
fired.
anyway. I don't
He
know
ain't
where
got
he
no team on the team. But I just heard just a super creep story about David Blatt, bro. But I keep it out there. But
I would say another example, and it was different because I think Miami struggled a little bit that year. But Stan Van Gundy, when Pat Riley came down, took over Stan Van Gundy, and they won the title that year.
In the middle of the season, though.
Yeah, that was middle of the season.
But yeah,
I know it's not middle of the season.
Agent Griffin joins the
But
power.
this one kind of crazy because they winning. Both of them
Let's
teams
go
kinda-
get him out of here.
Yeah.
I know it's not middle of the season, but the only coaching change that surprised me as much is when Dwayne Casey got fired from Toronto
At the end of the
after
year.
he won Coach of the
Coach
Year.
of the Year.
Yeah.
That was like
That was wild.
Coach of the Year, and then he's fired. Like,
They
that
won
was
it.
wild to me.
They won
Giannis ain't playing no
championship.
games with these folks. And speaking of not playing any games, Joel Embiid, who I feel a way about, Joel Embiid is one of my favorite players in the league. I feel a way that he scored 40 on Jokic the other night, last week. Won the game, almost doubled him up in scoring. It's man, you're the best player in the league. No,
dude. Joel Embiid is the best player
I
in
just
the league.
busted your ass. I just dropped 40 on you, and we beat your ass, and you ain't scoring but 20. Nah, bro. I'm not going to sit and tell you you're the best in the league. But he's probably, as far as like flat out scoring the ball, he's one of the most dangerous weapons I've ever seen, man, just being for real, Joel. Because then he plays the game, and he looks like he's playing at like 60%.
Yep.
No, he looks like he's out there just scoring around. He scored 70 points last night. Karl Anthony Towns scored 62. Kevin Durant scored 43.
You got to put the L with Carlton Towns.
Oh, yeah. Carlton Towns, a losing effort. Coach going crazy, going off of him.
Hornets.
Then Anthony Edwards in score number 8. For all these people who hate on Anthony Edwards, bro, get Anthony Edwards off a team where he's got 2 7-foot dudes in the paint, and I think you'll see how cold.
True MVP candidate.
Yeah, you see how cold it do. He look like Michael Jordan for real out there, man. Like, if you just want to be real about it.
What did y'all think about the comments that Chris Finch made last night? Did y'all hear that?
He was talking about Cat.
No, I know he was.
I saw because I've been busy working all day. I saw the video, but I didn't listen to it yet.
I think Chris Finch wants his team to be based around Anthony Edwards.
Absolutely.
With not Embiid, with Gobert being that, the defensive anchor, plus the young talent around him. I think he wants to flip Karl Anthony Towns with a quick Google search.
Which they should.
Of Karl Anthony Towns' contract will show you why this never happened.
Yeah.
The dude's contract is going to be $60 million per year.
God,
in a couple of them. I think next year that starts. Yeah, ain't nobody. You ain't trading. You ain't moving that dude. So I think that's the level. I think that's where that frustration comes from because you can't move that dude at all. Also in NBA news, as far as trades, not big trade today. Trade went down today. Terry Rozier leaves Charlotte, headed to Miami. Who always finds a way to just kind of add talent to that team. The team really needs more talent, more scoring. Terry Rozier comes over. Kyle Lowry finally moves out.
Yes.
A 2020. That's a dangerous draft pick they're trading too, man. Because it's like a 29, lottery protected in 2029, totally unprotected 2030. My thing is, hey, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
But it could come back and burn you, but we'll see it. But I mean, in the season where you're not going to be shit anyway if you're in Miami.
Yeah.
I don't really get it. I don't get it. I don't think Terry Rozier moves that type of needle for you, but whatever, man. And you know what I'm thinking? Kyle Lowry, he goes to Charlotte. They're saying they're going to try to trade him. I think any team who wants to trade for him would just wait for him to see if they get a buyout or something. I will tell you, I would love to see Kyle Lowry back here, man. And I'll tell you why. It's not about wins and losses, but I think if you're calling yourself trying to develop dudes, you need like a real point guard out there, man. Like you can't throw. I don't want John Conchar in charge of Gigi Jackson.
Who really Jaren Jackson is the point guard because him and Vince Williams.
Right. I don't want to see. Yeah, I don't want to see. I think Memphis needs some type of steady hand to get you through the rest of the season. Because I think Marcus Smart may end up saying screw it. I don't know. So I think you need some type of steady hand. Plus, just for nostalgia's sake, I'd love to see Kyle Lowry back. So that's really just talking. So I don't think this actually going to happen, but. I don't think Charlotte's going to keep him either. Also, I'll say this as we wrap up the NBA portion before we get to our third point, which is really good news, the third point. This Hawks-Lakers stuff is getting on my nerves when it comes down to trades, man. 'Cause that shit is not happening, bro. Like, there's not going to be a trade that sends D'Angelo Russell and what's his name? Rui Hachimura to Atlanta and
for
DeJounte Murray.
That ain't happening.
Like, no, bro. Like, why in the world would Atlanta want a D'Angelo Russell, Trae Young backcourt? It's obvious what's happening. Atlanta's not getting the offers they want for DeJounte Murray, or they're trying to angle with the Spurs to give up more. There's probably a player the Spurs don't want to let go of. So they're creating this fake thing with the Lakers. That shit is not happening, bro. And that is saying, it may be a third team involved. It's not happening. Like, the Hawks are either, it could happen where DeJounte Murray goes to the Lakers, but it's going to require the Lakers to get a much better player in a D'Lo trade to go to a third team, and that player goes to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Who's going to give up anything major for D'Lo? Like that, I just think that's all. Like I talked about on Twitter, man. When you see these type of things come out about, this trade, this player, this, it's either agent talking or one team is angling, trying to get attention from another team. They use the media for these type of things, man. I think there's no way any of that's going to happen at all. Number 3, big news today. Always, it's been a dark season for the Memphis Grizzlies, but some kind of cool news came out today, man. Desmond Bane, as well as Jaren Jackson Jr., are named to the 41, like the preliminary Team USA tryout team. You know what I mean? Finalists.
I would say, please, everybody who complaining about y'all know he got a torn labrum, right?
All right. Let me say this, though. I don't know if we had this conversation. I know it was on my mind, but I don't know if we ever talked about this, Kenny. Did I talk about my John Morant Team USA theory? Did we talk about it?
We've talked about it before, I think.
I don't know if I talked about it on air, though.
I feel like you have, like doing Team USA's last run.
All right, y'all remember the beginning of the season? Y'all remember when the season first started, bro, like in the preseason? You were hearing, like, De'Aaron Fox has been, like, asked. Like,
yeah. LeBron was to take over.
No. Like, it wasn't LeBron. You heard that stuff, right?
Yeah, I remember
LeBron
that.
came out, then was like, De'Aaron Fox has been asked his opinion on playing for Team USA and all these other guards, right? Like, they were reaching out to all these different guards, right? Somebody told me, I was like, does that sound strange to you? I said, yeah, it seems like odd timing. He said, why you think it's odd timing? I said, because the regular season is getting ready to start. Why are we talking about the Olympics? That's next summer, right? And they was like, I got another theory for you. I said, what if I told you that, like, Grant Hill is, like, really worried about pressure of putting John Morant on the USA team? I said, now does it make sense? I said, hell yeah. And he said, why? I said, because if Grant Hill doesn't want Ja on there, and Ja has a crazy year this year, people are going to be like, Ja Morant needs to be in the Olympics, just like the pressure of Trae Young. Now Trae Young's on this team,
name,
right?
His name is on the list, yep.
So I think that they tried to go ahead and just fill it up with guards so they wouldn't have to worry about the whole thing. And now Ja's got hurt, so it don't matter.
So it gave him out.
Yeah,
anyway.
but I had kind of a league plug kind of tell me that look out for that. That they're trying to create a narrative to, hey, we already got our team already. Sorry, Ja. Like, you know what I mean? That's why they were talking about that type of stuff so early in the season. But regardless of that, shout out to Desmond Bane, shout out to Jaren Jackson Jr. I can see a scenario where I don't think Dez is going to actually make the team.
No,
there's so many guards.
There's so many guards,
so many
man.
Guards.
I can see one where Jaren maybe does, because I think some of the guys who are there don't actually want to be on the team, like Anthony Davis. I don't think he actually wants to play. I can see Jaren getting in a scenario like that. But that team will be good as shit, man. If the guys if you get a nice number, because if you're just playing like fantasy, like, okay, who are the best guys on this team? That's going to be a really good Olympic team. You know what I mean? But but in reality, a lot of guys are going to pull out or injuries or whatever. But I think you can still field a really good team of 12. And I hope they get a team together that's like
that can gel.
Yeah, it's like where you got some guys who want to play a role.
Right.
But that doesn't mean put Bobby Portis on the team. But you know what I mean? I think that team can be really good. But shout out to Jaren and Bane. Because if you think about it, man.
Shout out to Tripp and Dez, man.
Yeah, if you got two guys on your team that are who the country considers, well, 3, because Ja Morant, whether he's on that team or not, he's one of them.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about top 50, 40 American athletes in the world, like, Come on, man. Like if 3 of them play for your team, man. Like and Ja would have been on it. You know, what I mean? He's one of those guys.
He's the best of them.
Because he's the best of those 3. You know what I mean? So that's something to really think about, man, for sure. Like I said, exciting times, man. Even though it's been a dark season, good to see those guys get that accomplishment, that recognition. About to take a break. When we come back, go wrap this thing up inside the same brain. Hang out with me on this one too, man.
Always.
All right, my boy Parish Sharkey's in the building. About to wrap this thing up in a minute. See you guys in just a few.
I mean, largely the reason my concern meter is so high is because of what Penny Hardaway's been saying. But if you just sort of put the losses in a vacuum, they're still 15-4. Like they still have a lot out in front of them, and they can right the ship. But when you hear what Penny's talking about, it becomes a lot more concerning because he's talking about chemistry. He is the only coach I've ever heard in any sport that has said, I have to avoid playing certain guys on the floor because they have personality clashes. I can get by with the losses. They could start winning here soon, get back to their winning ways. We've seen it. We've seen what this team can do. But what Penny's saying, I think, has staying power, and that is scary.
It becomes concerning, especially when you have a team that is so good. Like this team is so good and so talented, and there's so much in front of them. They've been so successful this year. But then this is worrying.
Tune into On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Outside of just Memphis conference realignment, there's been some rumblings all over the Twitterverse. TJ, you heard anything about a merger with the Big 12 ACC leftovers and the Pac-2?
We've heard it, but like it just seems weird to think about, right?
The Pac is trying to get and retain their AQ status.
I mean, they're going to have to add some teams. I don't know what the number is. I can't remember the number.
So,
if it's 6 or 8 on how many teams
I don't know that
add.
they're having to add. I think what he's alluding to is a merger of the Big 12. Florida State breaks away, and whatever 3 or 4 teams go. Let's say this merger, they end up with 30 teams. You're looking at 3 10-team,
something like that,
mini divisions or whatever.
Sure,
whatever they're going to call it. I don't know.
I definitely think that there's going to be some changing.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. In the building with my man Parish Sharkey for the Inside the Same Brain segment, where we talk about something that normally ain't got nothing to do with sports. Just be some crazy shit that's going through my brain, man. I fell down a weird rabbit hole. I was talking to a friend, and she was telling me about somebody named Gypsy Rose. Right?
Oh man. That's a weird. How did you get down that? Oh,
man,
so your friend told
me about it. So I looked up the whole story, looked it up on YouTube, and for you said you haven't seen the show at all, but I'll give you a recap of what's going on. So there was a TV show made in 2019 that I don't remember anybody talking about at all during the time, but it's like the #1 show on Hulu now because of this girl Gypsy Rose who just got out of jail. Now, let me tell you what she got out of jail for. Parish Sharkey. It's like, have you ever seen a story that's so crazy? There's actually 2 stories, and both of them stories crazy as shit, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? This girl had 2 crazy ass stories where I could just say, hey, there was a girl who was XYZ.
Yep.
That's crazy as shit.
Yes, it is.
Then you can say, okay, there's another story that's ABC. Oh, shit, that's crazy as shit, too. That's the Gypsy Rose story. And I'm about to tell you both of the stories, all right? And I'm going to say, but wait, there's more. All right? But the point where you think I'm about to say, wait, there's more, there's a totally different story about this girl. All right. First story. Girl was born perfectly healthy. Nothing was wrong with her, right? Her mom decides to create health issues for this girl. Now, I'm not talking about COVID. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about leukemia. Help me out, Kitty. Like,
she was in a wheelchair.
Wheelchair
bound. Like
needed a feeding tube.
Yeah.
Like
it's called Munchausen syndrome,
right? But hers was like, is it like third party?
Yeah, it's like
external, like when somebody's
doing it to you.
Like a one person's telling you, "Oh, you're sick. You can't do that."
Right.
But this girl was absolutely nothing wrong
constantly on medication, so she was always unhealthy because of that
medication she was taking,
but not because there's any underlying condition.
And they said the mom would give her this sleepy medicine. I can't remember what the med was, but it would make her sleepy and lethargic acting, right? And they said she would put like oral gel in her mouth to make her drool, like if she had to put her in front of people.
Yeah.
This girl was getting donations. She was like poster child for these different organizations.
Yep.
There was nothing wrong with this girl. Her mom was shaving her head.
Wow.
To make
as if she had like chemo and shit. Yep.
Yeah. She had on a CPAP machine, like she had sleep apnea. They were saying the girl couldn't swallow. She had a feeding tube. My dad and my nephew both on the feeding tube. How she was able to fake that shit to the doctors, I do not know. Damn. And they said that once doctors started trying to catch it on to her, she would get up and move to another town and start the whole gag all over again.
Wow.
But she was acquiring medical records over time that she was keeping, and she would steal prescription pads and go write prescriptions for this girl and give her medicine and make the girl feel sick. Also, the girl had no clue of how old she was. Her mom was telling her.
Sound like some power stuff.
Yeah, bro, this is wild. All right, so that's one story all within itself, right? Right?
That's crazy, right?
That's crazy, right? It's a crazy ass story, right?
Crazy.
Hey, if it ended there, like that's it, right? Hey, the end, right? But wait, parents, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
This girl finally realizes, okay, I'm not sick. Her little crazy ass, she's walking around. She gets her mom like super sheltered, like wouldn't let her leave the house, wouldn't let her get access to the internet, all that. The girl starts sneaking around because she's 19, being told that she's like 15.
Yeah.
Right? So she finds out how old she is in real life. She goes on social media, starts going on dating sites, meeting like 30-something-year-old sick-ass pervert men, and she meets this guy who's like mentally challenged, right? Who's like bipolar disorder. And her and this guy have this online thing they got going on. She convinces this guy to come kill her mom. So the dude kills her mom. They get caught up. He gets life in prison. She gets like a few years, and she's back out. Right?
She just got out.
And now she's doing like a rollout.
Yeah.
Like she's coming out.
She's gotten married to some dude.
She's got married to some weird-ass dude. She's out here, man. Like, hey, I ain't no killer. The dude who killed my mom, he in jail. Like,
she gets out and she's like one of their first interviews. She talks about how, excuse my, talks about how
good that D was.
Good that D was with her husband. All this kind. I mean, like he's
weird, man.
Getting it every night
Parish.
kind of deal.
That's wild.
And the fact that we're trying to like this, there's a show on Hulu called The Act. Right, it's 8 episodes.
Yeah,
bro, I've never had a show punish me. Like, I want to stop watching this shit. But I'm like, all right, bro, I'm going to finish this now. Like, I thought it was a 6-episode show, right? I looked up, I saw it was 2 more left. I'm like, I don't want to watch this shit no more. But this, like, bro, this little crazy-ass white girl, bro, this is the wildest story, man. Like, it seems like I vaguely remember this, like, when it actually happened, like, back in 2015 or something like that. But, man, this is the wildest story I've ever seen, man. And, like, it's a series, just like, of course, actors or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you've got like several documentaries about it, like when she was in jail. And my thing is, a lot of this stuff sounds like this little crazy ass girl is lying, man. Like a lot of this stuff, it seems like she's just making this shit up. Like she was talking about how bad things were with her mom, but her mom's dead. And they live a sheltered life with nobody but her and her mom. So it's like, okay, this could literally just be you making up shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But bro, I'm talking about wild shit. Check it out on Hulu. That was a free ad for something I know a lot of people are watching anyway. I cannot stop watching this shit. And I haven't even gotten into any of the real interviews. Like, haven't watched like the interviews with her or neighbors or, the ex-boyfriend. Like, all this stuff exists. I haven't watched any of that stuff. But, yeah, y'all check that out, man. Some crazy shit. Say, parents, I'm good.
It's a wild story.
It's 2 wild-ass stories, man. Wild.
So I'm into I love true crime stuff like that. And so I knew a lot about the Gypsy Rose story. The fact that she's out, I mean, it's like her mom manipulated the situation to make her feel terrible, to make her be sick, all this kind of stuff. And then she turns around just like her mom and manipulates this dude to kill her mom.
To kill her mom.
And I mean, it's
man, that shit is crazy.
Wild.
And then if you watch the series, it shows that the grandmother was crazy as shit too. Like it was all a bunch of manipulative, oh man, shit crazy. Like it made me just want to like go hug my kids, man.
Right.
like for it's sick, man.
Crazy,
like this girl, like you talk about, let's say hurt people, right?
Yep.
Like this girl, like to this day is super manipulative. And it makes you wonder at one point of her life, Kenny, did she realize that this was all a game? Like,
yeah.
Cause like her mom, like the girls, all her teeth fell out. I still don't know what the girl's mom did to make the girl's teeth fall out. Like her teeth were all rotted out. And I don't know what that, just make it look real mangly. I mean, I don't know what her mom's vision was about why she wanted this girl to not have any teeth. But that was part of her sick plot too, man.
It's crazy because like even just a few weeks ago, she gets out and the first thing she says is, I really just want to meet Taylor Swift. And I want to go,
yeah,
all this kind of stuff.
She's on a rollout.
And Taylor was like, nah, bro.
I'm good, little homie.
I'm good, bro.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Like she's out here like she's a celebrity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for real. But it's wild stuff, man. And but I'll say one thing, man. Like you hear jokes about watch them kids who had the silver teeth in their mouth.
I'll tell you what, man. Like
she got some shorts. She got some silver side teeth, man.
I get every once in a while. I think about like, man, like what kind of decisions as a parent am I going to make that's going to really mess my kid up?
Cause she screwed up, man.
And then I look at that story and I'm
straight
like,
delusional.
I look at that story and I go, I'm good.
Because it's like she's a victim.
You ain't doing too bad.
It's like she's a victim. Don't get me wrong, she's a victim, but she crazy as shit too, bro. But yeah, man, that's the Gypsy Rose story. Go look it up, man. Right. But we about to slide about this jump, bro. Y'all go check that out though.
Parish ain't got nothing.
Like, I ain't watching this shit. Hey, your wife probably want to see it, man.
She probably will, because I mean, I didn't want to watch the Jeffrey Dahmer stuff. And just, we end up watching it.
But yeah, I got one episode left, man. I can't deal with it. Then I done found The Color Purple on my bootleg stream, Kenny. So
so you're gonna watch it?
Hey, I've been watching it.
I thought you said you didn't want to watch it.
I wasn't going to the movies to watch this shit.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not watching that shit. I watched about 50 minutes the other day. I'm like, how y'all turning this kind of shit into a jig?
Well, I guess it was based off the play. That's
what I'm saying.
About how they did
the whole concept is crazy. It's like, I don't know, man. But like, I still got a ways to go. We'll talk about that Thursday. That'll be my Inside the Same Brain. We'll talk about The Color Purple. I'll let y'all know that's coming, man. But for Parish Sharkey, next to me, for Kenny Stubblefield behind the glass, man, it's been another good one. We about to slide up out of here, y'all, and we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.